Hello beauties, Shaz here again, and we're doing another to buy or not to buy today. In these videos I talk about new makeup that is released and I try to talk myself out of buying anything on camera. Hopefully in the process I can inspire you to buy less makeup. Let's not give in to the consumerism. A lot of the stuff that is releasing we already have a dupe for. If that sounds good, or if you just want to watch this for entertainment, let's get into it. As always, we have coffee. Candle for today is a pumpkin spice. Yes, we're going into those months, and I know, although Halloween seems kind of far away, I have already started because everywhere else has already started, and I'm wearing spooky nails. These are actually press-ons from Impress. They are super cute. So for this video, we are going to use ta-da! My dupe of Bonfire Palette from Glaminatrix. You all asked for this in my last video. Here it is, and that's what we're using to do my looks. There isn't a whole lot that has released, so let's see what we have. It seems like Nomad is bringing back two of their old palettes, Haunted Europe and Ghost Town, which are great for this time of the year as we're going into the fall and the spooky season. And they're also hinting that there is going to be a new one. Nomad palettes are not magnetic or haven't been magnetic to date, and I'm not prioritizing non-magnetic. I'm not going to pick anything up non-magnetic. We already talked about Smolder palette last time from Cosmic Brushes, and it's available now. Let me know if you want me to dupe this. I don't really see myself gravitating towards a palette like this because it's too big for the shades that's in it. It seems very redundant to me, but I would dupe it if you all want, and will do looks with it if you all want. It's just not something I need. I have way more neutrals of these variety than I need. And now that we're talking about neutrals, let's also talk about these, because what's going on over there at Urban Decay? Or is it me? Maybe it's just me and I'm not attracted to these kinds of palettes. Let me know if this is your thing. Don't know if you all remember this, but early 2000s Urban Decay was actually one of the brands that was very known among younger crowd for having very exciting and different eyeshadow shades. Like they would have neon shades and colorful shades that was so hard to find in any other brand. And now they're reverse aging. They're going to neutrals when everybody else is doing colorful. Both of these palettes also have a matte black, a pretty large one of that. Also, they're $60. I already spent enough time on this. Let's move on. Light Slackers, y'all, is a brand I would like to try at some point for nail polishes, and they're doing these great shades for this time of the year. Kind of cute. They have this like Texan flair, which, you know, I live in Texas, so clearly that would be something I would like. Definitely a brand on my radar, but not right now. Beauty Creations, y'all, is collabing with Powerpuff Girls, and this is another one of the things that I've talked to you all about in my consumerism video tagged, where I essentially mention feeling like you need a beauty product or any kind of product just because of the franchise it's collaborating with. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even look at these if they didn't have Powerpuff images on them, because I grew up with Powerpuff Girls, so, you know, when I see them on something, it makes me want to pay attention. But as I mentioned in that video, always think about, would you still be interested in those products if you remove any association with the franchise? So if you remove anything Powerpuff related with these, would you still want that palette? For me, that's a no. I mean, that palette is like not even, it's so bizarre. That's not even colorful, not even deep shades. It's probably not going to show up on my skin. Also, I feel like they're losing a lot of space. I feel like the pans are just too small for the size of the palette. We have this sneak peek from Beauty Moon. So this is their Divergence palette, and it seems like they're revamping this. We also have a few kind of cute quads from Pastel Roses UK. These are cute, and Pastel Roses is a brand I have never used before, particularly the blue one. But I don't know if Pastel Roses is magnetic. Is it magnetic, y'all? Let me know. Let me know if you know if their palettes are magnetic. Evidently, these are limited edition products, and I'm not buying any limited edition products. If you're curious, you can watch that video that I already talked about. I'm using my GlamLite primer. This one is in the shade Buttercream. I'm gonna get started with this orange and I'm putting it here. The Bonfire dupe video isn't up yet, but stay tuned, it's coming. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more neutrally look today. I've been told I do a lot of super colorful looks and I know not everybody feels comfortable with super colorful looks. So let's go into this brown for the outer V area. Again, friends, I try to do relatively simple looks using 2 to 5 shades in these videos. The idea is to show you what kind of looks you can make with these palettes. If you want, you can replicate the looks or modify them however you want, obviously. And then I'm going to go under my lower lash line. Also, friends, at the very end, I'm going to bring the camera closer and show you the look from close up. You are going to see some patchiness. I'm not 20 anymore. Even 20-year-olds have some patchiness at times or difficulties blending at times. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop enjoying colorful shadows. Okay, I'm going to now go into this one with a pencil brush. This is from Blend Bunny. And I'm going to use this to blend my lower lash line and then blending it into the outer V. And y'all, I always follow through with a fluffy brush and just blend everything. A lot of the photos you see online are super modified. That's why they look so seamless and extremely blended. I almost feel like this palette is missing a yellow, you know? Okay, getting back, Simply Postural. I talked about the sneak peek last time, and now they have fully revealed the palette. So this is what it's gonna look like, the Down to Earth palette. They, in fact, specifically said that this is gonna look very similar, like the old one that they had. What was it, Coastal? So, frankly, y'all, if you have that one, you don't need this one. I even feel like if you have Cozy Cabin, you might not need this one. Like, you have these shades. You remember I talked about Touch of Glam releasing something, the what is it, Color Me Multi Collection number 5. It turns out the photo they had released was black and white, kind of. That's why everything looked the same. And now they're telling us this is actually what it's gonna look like. So that's good to know. Maybe some hints should have been made because clearly, as a viewer of the reel, I just assumed it's going to be iridescent multichromes. So these are supposed to be pastel multichromes, and they're releasing early this month. So I'm still curious to know what they are going to look like with swatches, right? With swatch photos, because this isn't clearly going to show me a lot. And I'm curious. Another one we talked about, I think 2 weeks ago, and now we have a reveal of NBA Cosmetics' Synergy palette. They had mentioned these are going to be 12 duochromes. I'm pretty sure I have a dupe for all of these. So not on the market for this, but I think this is already released. Honestly, y'all, is any duochrome missing in your collection? I have a feeling you probably have these shades. These look like very common duochrome shades. Honestly, I feel like I have multiple dupes of these. Kaja's releasing these, and this caught my attention because of the blue one, obviously, but not for $30. $10 a shade? You gotta be... Yeah. Moving on. If you absolutely have to have a blue monochrome palette and you just happen to not own any, buy the 9 pan from Colourpop. That is like, what, $12? It has 9 shades, and trust me, Colourpop has good quality. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to try Kaja at some point. It's just, I just can't get behind the prices. This is another one. This is from Mika Beauty in collaboration with Pixie Glow. This is pretty. And I've used Mika Beauty, and Mika Beauty has good quality. It's just, they don't have magnetic pans. Mika, if you're watching this, maybe you want to consider that. La Luna collection, and I have seen a few reviews of this. It looks like a pretty palette. I just can dupe this. So I'm not going to go pick it up, but congrats to Pixie Glow. There's definitely a few more things to talk about, but let's finish the look. I'm gonna use a base booster from the good old BH. I saw that some brands or some, you know, stores online still carry this. I loved this. I bought it for $2 on BH Cosmetics' site. Y'all, right below if you missed BH Cosmetics. I truly don't understand why Revolution Beauty purchased the brand only to get rid of it. Okay, this is just for the center there. We're already going into the fall look, as you can see, and I think it kind of goes with my earrings. I bought these last year in Mexico. You all remember I went to Mexico. I have two options for this shade, and I'm going to use this one. The other one is from Glam Shop. It's a little bit thinner, and I want something thicker. This is Interstellar from Terra Moons. You know Terra Moons is a brand I want to get back to using this year. Top, top, top. Love this. I double checked to make sure this shade is available so that I'm not using a shade you can never get your hands on, just in case you like this. I always go back and fix the edges, making sure the blending is done fine. Okay, I'm very liking this look. This is a completed look. I was like, we're going into the fall season, so let's do a fall vampy look, and I'm very much enjoying it. As always, I'm gonna bring the camera closer at the end and show you the eyeshadow from close up because you all have asked for it. Let's now go and finish this video because there's a couple more things. First of all, this has been restocked from Glaminatrix, the Timeless Tones palette. I already talked about this palette before. I'm not going to repeat everything I said in the other video where I talked about it. The other thing I want to talk about you all is this releasing from Christian Lee. So it seems like the shade Unbreakable, which was originally created for the Seize the Day palette collab with Tracy's Powder Room, is releasing as a solo multichrome from Christian Lee Cosmetics. I definitely have dupes of this, but you all know I love a shifty, shiny, metallic multichrome, and this looked beautiful. This honestly even looks like it could be holochromatic. In the description, it doesn't say holochromatic. And I do believe that I have dupes of this just by what I'm seeing, but hey, doesn't mean I can't look at it and enjoy the beauty. The other thing I want to quickly talk about, we mentioned this sneak peeking last week. When I videoed, I hadn't seen the palettes yet. Now I'm seeing them. And I also know for you all that it's going to be magnetic. So I have to say, this is pretty. It's just, do I need and am I going to use realistically that many neutral shades? You know, I have to be realistic with myself. I love the red. It looks like a true red, and there aren't that many true reds out there, y'all. We've talked about it, but I'm not gonna go buy a palette just for one shade. I have not seen swatches of these yet, particularly the shimmery ones, because, you know, in this photo, you can't really see what they're gonna look like. But I'm excited regardless. I mean, the first palette was beautiful. I think this is beautiful. It's just, I don't need neutrals. The other thing that I like about Blend Bunny is that they have good prices. So, you know, if neutrals are missing in your collection, this might actually be your thing. And on the positive, you could also use these for duping if, again, you don't have these shades. The thing for me is, I think I can dupe these palettes, the matte ones for sure, because I have a whole lot of these shades in my Just Sydney Grace mattes. And y'all, last but not least, a palette that made me do double take and triple take and quadruple take. And it's one of those things that you might not guess, but it's a very interesting palette, and I'll tell you all why. This one, from Dia Varun. I have a feeling I'm going to dupe this because I'm not on the market to buy it at this point in time, and I can dupe this. I have these shades. I might not have the exact quality of the shimmers, but definitely the mattes. The palette's called Magnetic Mineralia. This is a collab with the creator Andromeda, and yeah, it's beautiful. And the reason I'm so attracted to this palette is because it's very unique. So y'all, if you've been watching my Color Theory videos. In one of those videos, which I believe is the second one, I talk about palettes of complementary shades. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So we have the purples and the deep yellows, and everything is cool toned. This you don't see very often. You see this in collaboration with a few other shades. Let me show you. I have a couple of palettes, and I showed these palettes in my other video, the Color Theory video as well, tagged below, where you have similar shades. So you have the variety of purples of different ranges, you know, more muted down, more vibrant, and then you also have a variety of yellow shades. And a lot of people might not realize this is actually very, very, very deep yellow, similarly with that one. And this is a Root palette. This I actually purchased from TJ Maxx, called Attitude Academy. And another palette where we see this kind of a shade is y'all Palettopoly. So you have a similar situation going on with the complements. I love my Ace Beauté palettes. I wish they were magnetic. Ace Beauté, if you're watching. I feel like at some point I'm just going to depot them. So this kind of a complementary shade we've seen in other palettes. We've just never seen it being a highlight of a palette, because I feel like a lot of people are going to feel very confused on how to use the cool toned purples with the deep cool toned yellows together. And I think that's exactly why my brain is so attracted to it, separate from the fact that our brain is designed to be attracted to complements. That's why we use them together. And because of that, I kind of want this palette. This is an ideal palette for making a lot of smoky looks. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Write to me below if this palette makes you feel any kind of a way. I'm curious, because I do recognize that this is not a palette for everybody. This is actually, I would say, arguably a difficult palette to make looks with. But I want to dupe it just to test that, because I have been wrong in the past. And with that, beauties, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoy these kinds of videos, first of all, don't forget a thumbs up before you leave, particularly if you watched this far. Second, don't forget to stay till the end. And my to buy or not to buy playlist is going to be recommended to you at the end if you want to keep watching. Also, hope you enjoyed this look. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I love you all. Have an awesome day and awesome week. And until next time, bye.